September 2023. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, police interrogate arrested suspects over killing of DPO in Rivers State. 100-day celebration of Fubara administration continues. Tribunals to decide hundreds of cases as proceedings end this week. Public-private schools in Rivers State resume new academic session. On the foreign scene, Kenyan soldiers feared dead in bomb attack. I am Constance Mega. The police have arrested 6 suspects over the killing of the Divisional Police Officer, DPO, of Aoda East Local Government Area of Rivers State, SP Bako Angbashim. As you may know, SP Angbashim was on a mission with other police officers to raid some criminal hideouts in Odemude community last Friday when a criminal gang ambushed and killed him. A video of his body surfaced online showing the gang taunting him and chanting victory songs. Well, SP Angbashim was known for his fight against insecurity in Ogoni land and was only recently posted to Aoda East to address the rising insecurity in that area. In a statement, the spokesperson of the Rivers State Police Command, Grace Iringekoko, said the 6 suspects were arrested after an operation in the community aimed at recovering the body of the DPO. The statement said the operation was led by the State Commissioner of Police, Wunyi Emeka. It said a locally crafted pistol and various charms were recovered from the suspects. Now, she also says they are being interrogated at the State Criminal Investigation Department, Port Harcourt. But the statement also said that residents of the community had fled the area following the incident. Meanwhile, a new DPO, SP Zuokumo Richard, has been assigned to the division. A third of a unit from Mopo 19, 56, a half unit from Mopo 48, and tactical teams are with him. The new DPO has been tasked with a thorough search of the area, the arrest of the culprits responsible for the last DPO's death, the recovery of his body, and the location of any operational weapons used. Well, she says the operation and investigation will continue. Well, yesterday, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara charged security agencies in the state to identify the killers of late SP Bako Angbashim. The governor said this shortly after the Emergency Security Council meeting at the government house, and he expressed confidence in the ability of security agencies to arrest the culprits.
We will not rest until whoever that is responsible for this act brought to book. We have gone further to show our commitment on this particular issue by placing a bounty on the criminal and also suspended the traditional ruler of that locality. We must get him. Rivers State will never be a home for criminality. I believe that the caliber of men that are heading the security units of this state will do everything within their power to settle and resolve this matter as soon as possible.
Well, on Saturday, Governor Fubara placed 100 million naira bounty on the criminal gang said to be led by one gift David Okpara Okpolowu, also known as General Tubaba. The governor also announced the indefinite suspension of Eze Igbo Akko, the second of Akko Kingdom, Eze Cassidy Ikebidi, for alleged acts of complicity in ceding control of his territory to the suspects to freely operate. Well, Governor Fubara assured everyone that his government would do everything to hunt down David and his gang and bring them to justice. Now, while condoling with the family of SP Bako and the police command for the loss, Governor Fubara promised not to allow his family to suffer the pain of his death. Also, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered an immediate investigation, arrest and prosecution of the culprits who killed the DPO. In a statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the IGP said the killing is not only an affront to national status, but also a reflection of a lack of patriotism and gross illegality. The IGP said the act would not be taken with levity. Well, still on this, a security expert, Efe Wanogo, has warned that any delay in bringing the killers of the SP Angbashim to justice could worsen insecurity in Rivers State. Mr. Wanogo said this in an interview with correspondent Emeka Utuka.
It's very condemnable. It is something that should not be tolerated, otherwise it becomes a norm. The perpetrators must be quickly brought to justice. Any delay will put every other security operative in the state at risk, because you now embolden non-state actors to be able to attack state actors, those who have the coercive powers of state. The police is the primary law and order agency, and if some hoodlums can do this to a divisional police officer of such a standing is just killed like that. No, it's not acceptable. I believe that a very swift justice would have to happen. They should partner with other security agencies as quickly as is possible and do a proper raid. These guys are not ghosts.
But Mr. Wanago also called for a thorough investigation of the officers involved in the operation that led to the DPO's death to determine if there was any compromise.
For this to have happened, it is likely that there must be some degree of compromise. Whether you say with regard to the nature of the operation, whether you say information was leaked, a proper investigation would have to be done and find out if there was a leak from the division itself. As far as the Yahoda police division is concerned, but they cannot go unpunished. The perpetrators of the crime must be brought to justice and it must be swift. If it is not swift, no other policeman in that area will be able to do his job. Even the other security agents in that area. Rivers State has not witnessed such a scenario happening for a very long time. We must not allow it to take roots, otherwise we will build further groups.
Away from that, public and private schools in Rivers State resumed this morning for the 2023-2024 academic session. Our correspondent who monitored resumption in community, secondary and primary schools, Rumapara, Alakahia, Choba, Rumigbo and Rumekini, observed that grasses have taken over their fields and some classrooms have leaking roofs, while others are in need of more desks. Our correspondent also reports that a good number of teachers were also available to begin lessons. But there was a low turnout of students and pupils at the assembly ground. Our correspondent caught up with some parents whose children attend government-owned schools, and they called on the state government to assist them in providing the necessary learning materials to make teaching and learning easy for students.
It has not been easy. Sometimes, some of them they complain, say they know they teach them well. Or Rumigbo government school, I will tell them, make them they more serious and more careful to take care of them very well.
I'm going to and they're supposed to provide chairs for them because that place they flooding when you rain plenty. They cannot stay on the floor. When you rain like this, they find it difficult. So last time, the chair no complete. Some of them they carry chair.
Government say they know they collect money for like all this exam fee, all those things. But they collect. But they go tell the children. May they not tell parents say that they collect. May they not anybody will come. They tell they say they know they collect. But we they pay for some things like all this exam fee because we believe in a free education. There sometimes they even they deprive our children not to write exam.
On their part, some parents in some private schools in Port Harcourt also complained about the recent increase in school fees and how it is affecting them.
We resume school today now. You are asking us to buy another uniform, which at least you can give us some time before we buy another uniform. You are complaining about the textbook as well. The other sister uses textbook, which you have provided another class now. You are saying you cannot use the sister textbook again. And you want me to pay another money. Private school just increase school price, periodical, just like that. It's uncalled for.
For now, the school fees is still normal, like the last time. But when you get to the market, you find out that cost of school bags, lunch bag, everything is on the high increase. The single parents.
They pay like 15, but now not 20. Before you pay exam fee, this, that, 30 something. Even as a new class now, where the boy just enter now about 40 something. It's not easy.
Meanwhile, the State Commissioner for Education, Chinedu Mom, says the state government is making efforts to improve educational standards and provide free education for Rivers people. Professor Mom made this known in an interview with correspondent Martha Okere.
We have successfully hosted examination. We got approval, government to sponsor candidates in public schools in Rivers State. So within these 100 days, money was released for the registration or completing registration of our candidates for the senior school certificate examination conducted by both WAEC and the National Examination in our council. We equally received funds to conduct the basic education certificate examination as BESE, formerly known as the Junior WAEC.
Well, Professor Mom said funds have been released for the renovation and reconstruction of various government secondary schools in the state.
We have achieved 32% progress in the completion of the remodeling of government secondary school Okake in Ahoda West local government. We have within these 100 days released funds for the completion of renovation. Community secondary school Rume Precom, the job is about 93% completed. Government secondary school Koroma in Tai was awarded by the previous administration and mobilization was given. The government of Sir Kubra has released the outstanding balance to the contractor.
While appreciating various communities for making efforts to assist the government in the establishment of more schools in communities, Professor Mom said some schools will be upgraded to have senior secondary sessions. And still to come, Edo State Deputy Governor Shuaibu relocates office out of government house despite withdrawing suit against Governor Obaseki. Stay tuned.
Stay updated with all the current news. From policies to politics, economies, local and foreign news. We keep you updated on all the happenings.
Nigeria says the country's fate hangs in the balance as challengers of the election victory of President Bola Tinubu moves to the Supreme Court. While speaking at the opening ceremony of the event, President of the conference, Lucius Ugoji, voiced concerns over the conduct of the elections, which he said fell short of people's legitimate expectations and moral and legal standards. The Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shuaibu, has begun relocating his office to an area outside the vicinity of the government house. The new office is close to the government house. Now, sources close to the Deputy Governor say that the new office has not been completely renovated. The development follows last week's withdrawal of Mr. Shuaibu's suit filed at the Federal High Court to stop alleged plots by the state governor, Godwin Obaseki, from removing him from office. In business, the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, says no higher tax rates will be imposed on Nigerians under President Bola Tinubu. Mr. Oyedele said this on his X handle while providing answers to frequently asked questions on the goals and work done by the committee so far. He said no new tax will be introduced and the committee's objective is to downsize the number of taxes levied on Nigerians. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara will resume the flagging off of projects which was suspended last week. He will commission the Mwodohia Road in Rumolumeni, Obiakpo local government area today. In entertainment, Nigerian comedian Anita Aswoha, popularly known as Real Worry Pikin, has urged the federal government to ensure accessibility and affordability of therapists for Nigerians experiencing suicidal crisis or those bereaved by the menace. Real Worry Pikin made the call in a video broadcast via her verified Instagram account. The comedian, who said in June 2018 that she attempted suicide, said suicide is real and must be taken seriously. And in sports, Africa's best players will be in Tunis, the Tunisian capital, to slug it out for places in the Paris 2024 Olympic Games and the World Championships. The stakes are higher as the winners in the team and mixed doubles events will automatically pick tickets to the Paris 2024 Olympic Games.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
An unspecified number of Kenyan soldiers are feared dead and several others injured after their vehicle ran over an improvised explosive device in the coastal Lamu County on Sunday. Military spokesperson Zipporah Kioko told newsmen that the incident occurred in volatile Lamu's Boni Forest. The Kenya Defense Forces, in a statement today, said the soldiers were on patrol along the Milimani Baure Road when the incident happened. While the Al-Shabaab militant group said it carried out the attack. Well, that's the news, but before we go, let's take a look at the highlights of the major stories. On the news this afternoon, you heard that the police say they are interrogating the 6 arrested suspects over the killing of the DPO in Rivers State. Ahoda East local government area now has a new DPO. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara will resume the flagging off of projects which was suspended last week. Public and private schools in Rivers State resumed a new academic session today. And on the foreign scene, an unspecified number of Kenyan soldiers are feared dead and several others injured after a bomb attack. The news was edited by Martha Okerinkem. Mostly cloudy weather at Port Harcourt this afternoon. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. Remember, peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I'm Constance Mega. Thank you so much for listening. Good afternoon.